Guy Show. My name's Harry Nowicki. I'm a personal injury lawyer. I'm here together with Tony Carbone.
Good evening, Harry. Good evening, viewers.
Who's another personal injury lawyer. And I'm here with Alan Thompson, who was here last week, and he's here today by popular demand, Alan.
Thank you,
A lot of phone calls, emails, inquiries, people just ringing up, asking who is this person, and we thought you'd come
pretty
back.
impressed with you, Alan.
Yeah, that was
Thank you very
good.
much.
It was good. So tonight we're going to talk about the role of barristers, and that raises some issues about legal costs as well, dare I say. But before that, Tony, what's in the news?
Well, Harry, in the news, it's been topical with the election and the government and all the issues about asylum seekers and boat people. The headline is dozens of asylum seekers are cashed up after being locked up. So they say there's been an increase in the number of asylum seekers receiving payouts for being illegally detained, contracting infectious diseases such as typhoid and tuberculosis, mainly on Christmas Island.
But if they fall over at a detention centre, can they claim? Have they got the same rights as Australian citizens?
Well, I think they have got rights, and
Does the Commonwealth have a duty of care to look after asylum seekers?
well, it's in their jurisdiction, so
in a safe manner.
It is. It's in their jurisdiction, so you'd think that they've got rights, and most of these are being paid out by the Australian government, Harry. So, you'd think that if they've got them in their care and control and
So they're an occupier.
That's
and
correct.
you'd say that if they slip over what happens if they fall off the roof? They're up on the roof, Tony, and they fall off.
That's an interesting
and injure
issue,
themselves.
because quite a few of them have been up on the roof lately, and one actually jumped off. So
One
I don't want to
committed-
make
one committed suicide.
I don't want to make
as well.
fun of it, but no, I think they'd have to work out ways of preventing them from getting up on the roof. Now that they're aware of the fact that most of them do get up there when they want to complain or protest. Yeah. I think they're going to have to look at ways of keeping them down off the roof.
Well, the criticism is it's overcrowded, the facilities are totally inadequate, and they're protesting against their treatment.
Yes.
And also the speed of their...
The time it takes to
the time it
process
takes,
their claim.
So, but the Commonwealth's at risk, Tony?
It is at risk.
If you're advising asylum seekers, the government's at risk?
It is.
But
Well, I guess
if they have a claim, they'll have to ring a lawyer. They can't actually come in and see you, Tony.
No, they'll ring in.
right?
You never know, it might be an excuse to take a trip out to, I don't know what Christmas Island looks like, or I'd imagine there wouldn't be much there.
There's one lawyer who we know, Eric, who's been looking after asylum seekers years ago.
He looked
You can
after
ask-
people that jumped off the boat. didn't he?
You could ask him what his experience is. We'll get a few tips from Eric.
Yeah, I don't think it was a very good one, Harry, because at one stage I think they were chasing him for legal fees, and
Oh no! Look, it was litigation over the Tampa, which was a famous case in 2001.
well, he did win an award, Harry, for humanitarian,
Yeah,
for taking on the case pro bono.
pro bono. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was there's a long history behind that. But look, tonight we're talking about barristers and the role of barristers in litigation and personal injury litigation. Alan, there's a lot of in personal injury litigation, a lot of QCs and senior counsel appear in personal injury litigation. What's their role?
The role of the QC is really to assist the junior counsel. Junior counsel usually prepares a case on behalf of the client, with the QC being brought in later to appear at the trial generally, and who's basically the mouthpiece for the client at the hearing.
Alan, junior, what does it mean? It's not someone under a certain age, is it?
No, he's certainly not under 18. A junior counsel is a counsel that is not a senior counsel being a QC, or is what they call today an SC. The junior counsel has generally the carriage of the case, with the senior counsel providing the final advice and running the case.
Well, Harry, Alan said about carriage of a case. I thought solicitors and lawyers were the ones that carried the case.
Well, they look. There's what's called really a division of labour, where you've got advocates who appear in court, who are on their feet to argue a case, and you've got solicitors who really prepare the case.
With the assistance in a lot of cases of junior counsel, as a rule.
Yes. But there's a long history behind the division between barristers and solicitors. In Victoria, we've got what's called a fused profession, where you're a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Victoria. And in other states, you've got you're either a solicitor or a barrister. But generally, in most states in Australia, you can appear before, a solicitor can appear in court and run cases. And you have been solicitors in Victoria, in crime particularly.
Indeed.
Why would you want to be one or the other, Harry?
Oh, well, look, solicitors, as you say, can prepare many cases over the course of a week, whereas a barrister's in court on their feet most days.
And can only do one at a time.
Only do one case at a time. Now, fees, barristers' fees. Well, what do they charge?
Well, they charge certainly anywhere between, for a senior counsel, $5,500 to up to $15,000 a day.
One day,
One day, $15,000, and then for the more complicated commercial...
there'd be very few barristers in Victoria which would charge that figure.
There are...
There's probably one.
There are a number of those.
In New
Probably
South
one.
Wales, I think they're charging very high
There's
fees.
very few barristers. I mean, they capture the headlines.
They
but
do. Look,
most...
it prompted the Attorney General, Mr Hulls, to make comment about fees being generally so high, particularly barristers' fees, that it became beyond the reach of most people in litigation.
Where do these figures come from, Alan?
These figures come from when you ring up a barrister's clerk, and a barrister has got a clerk who's got like a secretary for a barrister who books.
a bit more than the secretary, those clerks. I think
they handle the fees. They promote the barrister actually as to cases.
That's probably more to the point.
They promote them, and they're the ones who give you an idea of what the barrister's fees are. Now,
so you can negotiate barristers' fees.
you can negotiate. A barrister gets a daily fee. Generally, in litigation, particularly personal injury litigation, a barrister will, let's say, gets $5,500
Each day they appear.
But the court doesn't allow $5,500 a day. It would allow a brief fee for the first day and what's called a refresher. That's not a drink afterwards.
Isn't it hot days?
No, it's not a hot day. It's actually a fee that's allowed for the subsequent 5 hours after the first day. So every 5 hours, the barrister gets 2/3 of his fee. That is, he gets 3/3 if it's 5/5.
But a normal court day is only 4 3/4 hours, though.
Indeed, but they actually allow the lunchtime adjournment as an hourly rate, and that encompasses the 5 hours.
But so, I mean, barristers' fees are high.
They are high.
Particularly for experienced barristers
Indeed.
like QCs.
We're going to have to go to a sponsors break, Harry, so viewers, don't go away. We're going to a sponsors break. We'll be back very shortly, so please stay tuned. Thank you.